Hello teachers, we met in episode 36 of the National Development Plan related to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. Before we come up with the 13th development plan, let's talk about our past since the crisis. In the 40s, or as we call it, the Tom Yam Goong crisis in 1997, almost every publisher almost every day had a headline about a business owner who committed suicide. This is a shocking news that must be used to shock the whole country. Even if it happens to someone, we feel uncomfortable as Thais. In 1997, we have to use the word collapse to say that our economy collapsed, the kind that was like a domino affecting neighboring countries. The reason is because we spend too much money, we are not enough, we borrow money, but it is money that does not generate income. We borrowed to buy speculative land, we borrowed to buy objects, the allotment houses already existed, but we still buy more. I already have a car, but I still buy it. We spend too much money, we live in a society of extravagance, even though the royal speech of His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej the Great has been in the royal speech since 1999, 1974 sufficiency. Because he saw that most of the population who are the pillars of the country are farmers, he also worked to become a prominent farmer. We have talked many times about going down to a new theory of agriculture so that some people do not understand and think that his self-sufficiency economy is farming. In fact, His Holiness has a royal speech that covers the economy, society, and the environment, but it must be used to focus on material things until they forget the good things. In the 40th year, His Majesty, there has been a royal speech since 1 year of illness. How many years have it been since one was sick? 4 centers. We have abandoned a good opportunity. We have abandoned what is His Majesty's knowledge until there is a crisis. Since the government, public, and private organizations have taken His Majesty's words and put them into the process through many organizations that have been screened. When he finished, he offered it to His Holiness to look at. There are additional adjustments to complement here and there until we get the philosophy of the sufficiency economy as 2, 3, 4 that we have learned. Then the 9th National Economic and Social Development Plan embraced the philosophy of the sufficiency economy in the first development plan, which was the 9th edition, then the 10th, 11th, 12th edition, and now the 13th National Economic and Social Development Plan. The teacher must use the word and become more and more intense when we look back our economy. We may be bad in the 40s, Tom Yam Goong, but as a teacher who teach society, the teacher looks at the social side. Instead, the teacher sees that our society is starting to come as a stimulus to think about ourselves. How did you adapt to the whole society? This is an event that allows us to know that nothing is 100% bad on the bad and there is a hidden good. There is nothing that you gain 100% and lost 100%. The economy is the best, but socially the professor came to observe, starting from the crisis of 40, from 40, 41, 42 onwards until now. When my father went bankrupt, you see what helps yourself to survive. You come back to look at self-reliance. Self-reliance in the crisis phase is to look at your belongings, clothes, brand names, etc. There is an opening in the trunk of a shopping cart and taking out things to sell things to support one's own life, which is to start to be self-sufficient to a certain extent. Since 40 and 41, opening the end of the sale of goods at the flea market is not embarrassing. It is not necessary to divide people. It is a picture that the teacher saw, and the teacher saw that the society has improved, causing the number of people to be down to earth increasing after the Tom Yam Goong crisis. After that, it continued to develop until it was sold online. Do you see the present? The new generation doesn't want to go to work full-time. They said that the money was floating in the air, so it was up to who will grab it. This is like a vision. This is like a vision that makes the new generation turn to his business from a positive angle. Currently, the 13th Development Plan will be linked to the National Strategy. The National Strategy is the goal of sustainable national development. We often hear about the National Strategy, and the sustainable development of the National Strategy must have the principles of good governance as the guide, honesty, transparency, and verifiability. To be used as a frame, to be used as a frame. In preparing various plans of the country, it is necessary to adhere to the national strategy and then write it in accordance with the development and start to integrate. Therefore, our 13th development plan is a level 2 plan. A level 2 plan that transforms the national strategy into implementation, and in this plan, the direction of national development for the next 5 years is from 6 to 7 centers. The first is the philosophy of the sufficiency economy, which has been transformed from the national strategy to the 13th National Economic and Social Development Plan. The first point is to determine the direction of development based on 4 important principles and concepts. What you will develop, but the importance of development must be these 4 points as a flag. The first is the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. You see, this is not an important thing at the ministerial level, not at the ministerial level, but at the national level, and it will also move to the international level. Number 2, the ability to fall and get up quickly. When you get up, you have to walk forward. You have to get up quickly and be ready to move forward. 3, the development goals must be based on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The fourth is the conceptual principle provided in the development plan. This is the development of a bioeconomy and a circular economy. You see, it will be 100 states as a link between countries, regions, and the world. We can't live alone because we have to help each other like global warming. We can't help, we have to work together. Therefore, we must take the 4 principles and concepts as a flag for development in all aspects. And do not forget that the first is the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. The teacher said that it would be more and more intense. Next, let's look at it as a teacher. We will not look at our Next, let's look at it as a teacher. We will not look at other parts. Next, let's look at it as a teacher. We will not look at other parts. We will focus on the development plan related to the National Education Plan, which from 2017 to 2036, the National Education Plan aims to look at the vision of national education development. It must be educated and learned throughout life in a happy way, in line with the philosophy of the self-sufficiency economy and the changes in the world in the 21st century. You see, it will be a tightening from the beginning of education. In changing teachers, there is a role that must be recognized. And when we teach children, we must take Thai children in the 21st century who they expect to have that one. Then let's unravel the philosophy of the sufficiency economy, and then let's focus on how our courses are, how we will connect them, and how we will organize activities that are in line with the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. At the same time, it keeps pace with the changes in the world in the 21st century. This is the vision in the National Education Plan. As for the purpose of education, there are many things, but the teacher showed me the third points to develop Thai society into a society of learning and morality and ethics. This virtue is that the virtuous condition that we practice is inherited from our families, from our ancestors, from the village community, from educational institutions in order to create goodness in our minds. Therefore, in a learning society, we must have morality, ethics. Ethics is that we already have a good state of mind within us. How do we show it to others? This is ethics. Therefore, we often hear the word moral courage. You see, we must express ourselves. Otherwise, good people will have no place in the land. We must have ethics. We must have the courage to praise. We must have the courage to praise the good people in the land who have implemented various projects. When we see the purpose of education management and how we can organize children's activities to have a learning society, do you have morality and ethics? Knowing love and unity is the working principle of King Rama IX, and working together towards sustainable development of the country. This is the aim of education. It is the aim as a whole to be sustainable. Let's look at the last line. To be sustainable, it must be in accordance with the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. We understand we develop ourselves, develop children, develop teachers by developing educational institutions which will affect the development of the nation, resulting in all teachers meeting the needs of the national education plan. Happiness and development in the overall organization. Next, let's look at the strategy. Let's look at the strategy, which will be in the fifth point, the management of education to enhance the quality of life that is environmentally friendly, which will be divided into the first point, people of all ages. There is a sense of love here is to protect the environment. How moral ethics and put the concept of the philosophy of the sufficiency economy into practice, just like he has always worked for us. We have learned the principles, we must put the philosophy of the sufficiency economy into practice. To practice, she is a teacher who practices herself, and we need to look at our organization, which will be the part that goes down to teaching and learning, into the learning management plan. The duty that all teachers have to do is because we are teachers. If we don't have a learning management plan, we are like hikers who do not have a compass to guide us. We can get lost. We are teachers. We are also a place that is with us. So it is our guide. Next, let's look at the second course. Learning resources and learning materials that promote quality of life. Whether it is a curriculum that takes children out as an external factor and an external factor within the external factor, we must teach the children what he will bring in or what learning materials he will apply. Equipment, media, all materials must be environmentally friendly. There must be morality and ethics, and put the concept of the philosophy of the sufficiency economy into practice. Therefore, the strategic steps of the national education plan can be seen as follows. From the teacher walking into the school, the arrangement of the environment that will be conducive to everything, the atmosphere of the class, even the curriculum, even the management, even the organization of teaching and learning activities. Even the projects that will be given to children must be taken into account. The environment and morality and ethics must be taken into account. Covers that aspect. Finally, whether it promotes the quality of life and then analyze and synthesize the lessons, and whether the children's concepts are in accordance with the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. The philosophy of the sufficiency economy. Next, the direction of the 13 development plan. The direction of the 13 development plan. The country can overcome various challenges to make Thailand stable, prosperous, and sustainable, and a developed country by developing according to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy in accordance with the intention of the national strategy. It is based on the following principles and concepts. This determines the direction of the development plan. The philosophy of the sufficiency economy. All Thai people must continue to maintain and develop according to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. Through setting the direction for national development, the development direction must be rational and moderate. These three immunities must be based on knowledge. You see, the importance of the economic development plan related to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy is that all the knowledge that teachers will receive from part 1 to part 48 will be linked. By the time you reach episode 48, You see, the importance of the economic development plan related to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy is that all the knowledge that teachers will receive from part 1 to part 48 will be linked. By the time you reach episode 48, you will definitely be able to apply the philosophy of the sufficiency economy. Please meet with Professor Benjamin to organize the next activity. Activity 36. National Development Plan related to the philosophy of sufficiency economy. 5 points. Based on the information that the learner or teacher has gained knowledge in this episode 36, which is about the National Development Plan related to the philosophy of the sufficiency economy, the learner or teacher should explain how the philosophy of the sufficiency economy and the National Development Plan are related. Continue to write and explain enough to understand and then submit it according to the date, time, and delivery channel specified by the class teacher or class teacher. The correct answer check and grading are at the discretion of the class teacher.